Hello and welcome to another Friday happy hour. I'm holding space for female entrepreneurs to network and help each other out while doing single card tarot readings for those who wish to have one. Today I can only do 30 minutes because I have to get up on time tomorrow, which means I have to get to bed on time today because I'm showing my art tomorrow at a local market. So that's why this will only be 30 minutes. Please introduce yourself so I get an idea of who you are. An egg and a cryptic name doesn't really say much. So if you're here for the female entrepreneur networking or the tarot readings for female entrepreneurs, you're in the right place. Otherwise, you're not. Hi, Heather. So are you in business or thinking about it? Yeah. What kind of business do you have? Is it horse related or is it something else? Okay, horse related. For those who can't see the chat, Heather has her own business related to horses. Did you want me to pull a card for you, Heather? Yep, just give me a question and I'll pull one and we'll see what happens. Okay? Thinking, yeah. Thinking is good. It's good to come up with a question that you're actually wanting some clarity on. How do I blend both of my businesses? I've been in that one myself. I have art, creativity coaching, and tarot readings and amulets, and I'm about to mix it all up. Well, if both are involving horses, it shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, people say I'm very busy. I do a lot, but I seem to be doing a lot of sofa sitting and Facebooking too. So I do a lot in 10 minutes. See what we get for the cards. King of Cups usually depicts a kind and sensitive man, but that's not part of the question. I usually take my own intuitive hit from the card, think about it a little bit, and then just check my own notes so I can see if I've missed anything. I would say that it will have to do with balance, that you have to balance both fields in some way, maybe mix them. It's usually possible to mix and balance at least two fields. Maybe something about counseling others, giving others advice. There's definitely about balancing and blending, mixing. Yeah, I'm glad it made sense because it didn't make that much sense when I said it. If you want to tell me a little bit more about your business, I could maybe come up with an idea that actually makes them blend. I do quite well with ideas as well. Something I think is fun to think up ideas for people. Little hobby of mine, but also, yeah, clear remove blockages. If those are the two different ones, then you can definitely blend them because blockages and mental and physical and energy obstacles, they definitely have an influence on how able you are to train them. Like if you have a horse that's in pain physically or tense or emotionally troubled, then he won't be as easy to train as if he's been taken care of in those areas. So they definitely go together. By combining them, you also separate yourself from the ones who are only horse trainers or only horse healers. I think it's a great thing to combine. Yeah, behavior specialist, but also holistic trainer, maybe. That you look at the whole thing and not just how can I teach my horse to do this. I like, yeah. I'm glad you do. Maybe those two are actually quite easy to combine compared to some of the others I've come across. And it's always nice to be able to combine your passions because it sucks having to stick to just one. I'm a multi-passionate myself. I will never stick to just one. It will not happen, no matter how much the coaches say I should. And you also have to balance yourself, especially when you do energy work. Yeah, it's dull doing just one thing, it is. But when you do energy work, you have to make sure you don't give too much. or take on too much. I have friends that are empaths, healers, and also one who's a horse communicator. And it's really easy to take on things. Hi, Tess. Welcome. I see you're a career coach. What kind of career coach? I was looking at your profile, Tess, so that's why I knew. And going from a job to being an entrepreneur, well, a lot of people need support doing that. I had some help. I went on disability, so I had to figure out something else to do. I was already running my business, but not as a pro. That's it. Tess wants to talk. I love talking.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Tess. I prefer talking to writing.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'm a writer, so I spend all day long beating up my hands.
Yeah, I do that too. I have published a couple of books, but it's not. I write a lot of content for websites and stuff like that. So it's nice to talk to people. If you have headphones, that might help too.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're all tangled up right now.
Oh, that's typical. They always tangle.
I tried to pull some out today, and I had like 15 different cords attached to a bunch of different headphones.
Yeah.
I'm a HR lady and started getting into career coaching a couple of years ago. I went through a program, got certified, and to coach people properly on job changes and career transitions, because I'm one of those early midlife crisis, got tired of the corporate life and wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah,
So
well, I never liked that.
either it's too much red tape and politics and drama all the time.
Yeah, I know. I've never been one to be able to stay in a regular job.
Me neither. I thought I was ADD for a while because the average amount of time I spent at a job was about a year, and then I would get really bored and move on to something else. So I think that's when I identified that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and teach other people how I did it. And then I'm now getting into course development, so creating courses around that topic. So
Yeah.
it's been fun. Tell me what you do.
I'm an artist and a creative coach, and I'm also an intuitive guide, and I make amulets. So I have,
Oh,
yeah, and the idea generation. So I have 5 things I'm trying to bake into one.
it's hard to kind of narrow it down, but I think if you just go with what your gut tells you and the type of people that you like to work with, you'll
Yeah,
find your way.
that's what I do. I use my intuition. You're
Definitely.
welcome, Heather. She was just saying thank you.
Oh,
I pulled a card for her.
oh, she works with horses. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
she wanted to know how she could blend her 2 avenues of business.
Hmm.
That was horse healing and horse training, and I think that combines very well.
I would say so. Very therapeutic for the horse and for people that she might work with.
Yeah. If you want me to pull a card for you, I will. Otherwise, we'll
I
just
would love
chat.
to. Oh, do I have to think of it, or do I need to tell you the question?
It's easier if you tell me, because otherwise I have to give you the whole interpretation and not just what's actually related to your question.
Okay. I guess it would be related to my business, and am I headed in the right direction that I am going right now with course development and more going into coaching as adverse to just being a writer.
Yeah.
Get the second main concern that I have.
Yeah, it's always nice to know if you're on the right path.
That's for sure.
Now, it's only a snapshot of time, but it's usually
Mm-hmm.
a pretty good pointer.
Well, I can always use some validation.
Yeah, we can all do that. It's already 20 minutes past 11 p.m.
Oh, it's late. Or you're in England,
I'm in Norway.
Norway. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
9 of Pentacles. Pentacles is always fun when it comes to money. Well, the card it shows someone sitting comfortably in her garden. So it's, I think it's a positive card. You know where you belong and it feels safe and secure.
Okay.
You need to be disciplined and not overdo it.
That
Be
sounds like me.
confident, and things might turn out better than you thought.
Hmm.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Very positive.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
That helps.
I'm glad it helps. Do you have an ideal client? Someone you prefer to work with? Maybe not
It's
ideal
hard.
client in the definition of the business coaches, but who do you like to work with?
Typically, I enjoy working with, you know, males or females in their 30s, 40s,
Mm,
people that have some experience in the corporate world, or have some good experiences, and they want to translate that into a business that they can embrace
yeah.
and use all their talents. Not just because I think a lot of people are working and frustrated because they're not using all their skills.
Or
And
none of their skills. The real
yeah,
skill
worst
is
case.
sort of they only use what they've learned and not what they're born with.
Exactly. So it's helping people re-examine who they are, go back and revisiting some of those earlier talents that they may have identified when they were younger, or maybe they've learned over the years,
Yeah.
and being able to create businesses around it. So much of what I do is education. So, I'm always trying to learn from the people I work with, and then catering programs that will help them the most.
Yeah.
So,
And people in their 30s, 40s are often at that breaking point where I don't want to do this anymore.
exactly. It's a very frustrating place to be,
Yeah.
especially if you're a very talented, very creative, and bright person, and you want to, you know that there's something great you're supposed to be doing, but you just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can say that I worked in computer maintenance and support for 8 years.
Hmm.
Very
So you,
outspoken person, very creative, and it doesn't really work sitting at a phone where you have to be nice to people who aren't nice to you.
I can relate. That's a tough.
We should have had a punching bag in the office.
Oh yeah. Being in HR, had to deal with a lot of difficult people and situations, and sometimes I just wanted to run screaming from the office
Yeah.
because you never know what to expect. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's thick skin to deal with that.
Yeah, I've never been fond of being tied to the phone either.
No,
It's really not my thing. But I'm doing what I want now, even
that's
though it
good.
took disability to get there.
It's very grounding, though, when you realize that have certain physical limitations. I've kind of been through a similar journey recently, and
Yeah.
you're thankful for the fact that you have these gifts that you can share. You can still be a productive person and
Mm.
do those things, but you do have to have limitations, and you have
Yeah,
to take care of yourself.
in a way, it makes it easier to take time for yourself and not work, work, work and run yourself to the ground
Yes,
because your body stops you. You can't
you
keep
don't have a
going.
choice.
No, you don't have a choice. Sometimes you do have to take a day off.
But isn't it great to be able to do what you love
Yes,
and be able to give yourself permission to do that?
it is.
That's awesome.
I'd rather my business building take longer than be quick and be done in a way that I don't like.
Yes.
I'd rather do what I love and build relationships rather than push.
Oh, the financial business side of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are still in the masculine pushy marketing. I'm not
Yeah.
very fond of that.
Well, there's a right way to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
there is.
you can see your they
There's
see
the
your
middle
value.
ground, and then you have people on both ends.
The way I see it, if someone really wants to work with me, they'll learn my value,
Mm,
and they'll have that desire. And it is difficult sometimes to talk about the pricing and how do you handle that
yeah.
kind of stuff. But if you're just honest with people and you tell them this is how I make my living and this is
Yeah.
how I support myself and my family, they're very they understand.
Yeah, and also it depends on how motivated they are to actually make a change.
That's true.
Because the ones who go around kicking tires to see if they can get it for free, they're not really committed to taking
Serious.
action and changing things.
They have no skin in the game. They're just kind of
Mm,
tooling around. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
They might come around later.
Well, if you're good at what you do and they see that, they will. They'll come back when it's the right time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Linda. I really appreciate your time and doing that reading for me today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And I wish you well.
Thank you. Likewise.
I'll definitely follow you on here.
Yeah, I've followed you too while we were
Give me,
talking. I'm sort
give me
of
some
a
props.
chronic multitasker.
All right.
Yeah.
You have a good evening.
You too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. Hi, Claudia. Please introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing. Holding space for female entrepreneurs tonight and pulling a card for those who want one. Yes, it does go by fast, especially when you're talking to people. Time flies. Yeah, I'm glad you caught it too. Have a great night, you two. And thanks for joining. I'm going to wrap up and get myself to sleep if I'm able to. I never go to bed this early. Well, we'll see. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to those who joined me, Heather and Tess. And you know where to find me if you want a reading. The readings are at lindarson.net/library. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.